We were really hoping by this point, since we've been settled into Quebec for a while, to be showing you a car without a front license plate. But for some reason, we've found a car in the middle of Quebec from Brantford, Ontario. Our spotlight is on this 2017 Volkswagen Beetle. We're going to be showing you everything about this car, taking you for a drive, and going over what you need to know if you're in the market for Volkswagen's new Beetle, because they've made like 30 of these and they've said they've got to cancel them every time and then they keep bringing them back. We're looking at the most popular coupe configuration for the Beetle, the Trendline trim with convenience package. Styling is similar to previous Beetles, with a flattened roofline more akin to the original Type 1. When you unlock the car, the window drops a couple centimeters as most pillarless doors tend to do. Around back, the trunk is functional, with the VW badge working as the handle and release latch. The backup camera is also hidden behind the rear badge. Inside we find the body color trim and black cloth seating. The driver's door includes power mirror controls with the heat option, along with central locking. Window switches are located behind the retro-esque handles and plastic armrest. Non-automatic headlight controls are located beside the cluster, and no multifunction steering wheel is included at this price. The center console has a large touchscreen with Sirius XM radio and backup camera. MP3 and Bluetooth are included for hands-free and media connectivity. Below are the heated seat buttons, rotary knobs for the air and heat, along with the hazard lights. A 12-volt connector is located along the bottom with the gear lever and the cup holders behind that. The parking brake and center armrest run beside the front seats with multiple options for the inclination. The display screen isn't bad and relatively responsive. The passenger side features two storage compartments, one above for glasses or micmacs, and a glove box below for larger items. The passenger door has an elastic band that holds absolutely nothing of importance, with the window controls above that. There's a knob under the light switch that controls the interior mood lighting. Options are red, blue, or white, or off completely. The lights circle the front speakers and run the length of the door trim. The back seats are suitable for children only, and even they will be kicking the shit out of you during the entire drive to Grandma's house. When I think about cars I want to drive, the Volkswagen Beetle is really not on the list. But, that being said, this is not the worst car that I've driven. We've done quite a few cars for test drive, and for the most part I've liked them all. But there's been a lot of cars that we've driven that we have not done videos on. And there have been a lot of bad ones, and this is not one of them. I'm impressed. The throttle response is pretty decent. The transmission shifts pretty well. It's actually quite good on the road. We're going to go around a little corner coming up here in a little bit, and you can really take that corner quick, and the car feels planted. It really feels like it's almost on rails, in the sense that you really point it and it goes the way you want it to go. Unlike a lot of the cars that we've driven, that the steering has just been very loose, or you kind of understeers or oversteers. This, surprisingly, from a Beetle, of all things, is pretty good. Proportion-wise is not bad as well. It's a small car, it's a two-door car, but I think the profile looks a little bit better with this more of a traditional kind of style than the older, more curved, hunchy kind of things. These are a little bit nicer. And look, here's that corner I was telling you about. We're doing it at 100, and I kind of enjoy it, right? It's pretty good going around corners. I'm surprised. And I think that a lot of people would write this car off instantly just because, there's a stigma around who should be driving her. We haven't really gotten any looks driving-wise, but I have seen some people kind of giving me these weird looks when we get out of the car and, we stop somewhere and get out, because there is that stigma that this is a girl's car, right? This is a car that only women buy, and I think that it's an unfair generalization of this type of car, because it's it is a good little car. Here we go, just chuck it around the corner a little bit, and it is one of the first cars that I've driven where I chuck it and I don't really worry about it. Maybe it's because it's a Beetle. If I crash it, nobody's gonna cry, but it actually goes around the corners very well, and I don't have to worry, will the tires stick, will the suspension keep up, am I gonna understeer into a tree, am I gonna oversteer into a truck? No. it's surprisingly good. And I think that might be what you, if you were to drive one of these, might feel as well. You know, I've driven probably a few hundred kilometers with this already, and it's been pretty comfortable. I'm not overly uncomfortable. I will say that the armrest here is kind of useless, and overall visibility is not great. Well, windows are pretty big up here, but this little mirror where the camera is attached beside is kind of useless. You really don't see much out of it, and I could not get those headrests to go down. I can't pull them up, so they are pretty much stuck in there, and I don't know if that's just me. I really didn't want to break it, but I could not get them out. There are a few things that I really dislike. You can't adjust this seatbelt, so what ends up happening is it really digs into my neck. I usually keep the belts quite low. I like them to really hug around my shoulder and be a lot lower. This has been cutting into my neck every time I drive. I have my little piece of shirt that I pull up just so I can drive normally without feeling like I got an itchy neck. But I don't like that. Getting in another car for the rear passengers is pretty terrible. And the trunk is also quite stupid. I opened it and I didn't quite shut it properly, but then if you don't shut it properly, you have to lift the Volkswagen badge where the camera is. So if you haven't shut it properly and you try to lift it again, it's stuck. You're basically screwed. You have to slam the trunk down and then try to open it back up. So a couple little stupid things like that I'm not really a big fan of. And I'd say probably the thing that really ruins the experience the most is the lack of soundproofing on the inside of this car. It is so loud in here on the highway. You can't have a conversation with somebody. It is so loud. You hear the road, you hear the wind, you hear the bumps, you hear your tires, you hear the other people laughing at you. It's not very good on the inside of here. On these back roads here, you know, we're doing about 100 on relatively, surprisingly smooth Quebec roads. And, you know, I don't know, you be the judge. You tell me what you think of the sound, but it's not very quiet. I can hear the wind. I can really hear the road. And for some reason, this is like a really small engine, but when we come to a stop sign, you can really hear the rumble of the exhaust for some reason. And it's not a good rumble. It's not like, you know, it's not V8, right? So like, I don't know why it's got a rumble. Whoa! See, it is not bad though. Oh, listen to that engine get up to 6,000 RPM. Lovely. Okay, we're gonna take it from a dig. Well, it was about 100. I don't know. I mean, what was that, like 15 seconds?
While our test vehicle costs just over $22,000, the Dune package gives you leatherette seats and a few extra goodies like bi-xenon headlights, blind spot detection, fender audio, keyless access, and park distance control for an extra $6,000. The Beetle isn't an expensive vehicle, but it also feels very plastic on the inside. It certainly might be a car to consider if you're driving it within the city and have no passengers with you, because add a friend or two, and things can get cramped pretty quickly. Thanks for watching this episode of Test Drive Spotlight on the 2017 Volkswagen Beetle Trendline. Your support helps make this show possible, so if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it within your social circles. We invite you to subscribe to the channel and stay up to date with the latest videos here on Perpetual Radio. Find us on Twitter and Facebook to see what we're doing behind the scenes and which cars we're working on or what vehicles we're looking to feature.